It was very shocking for me.
Maybe my life would be shortened.
Am I going to die?
Maybe I wouldn't be able to have children.
I feel like I'm on a very long leash because there are limits to what I can do.
Part of my life was ending. My freedom was being taken away.
I was very afraid watching what she had to go through.
That scared me.
Just shy of my 25th birthday when I was diagnosed. I had a 2-year-old and I didn't know if she was going to be affected. What happens if I die from this? What happens to my kid? As a single parent, I was suddenly being asked to make this big lifestyle change in my diet. 25, was out eating pizza and drinking beer.
Start at the kidney clinic, the first thing they tell you is that you're never going to get better. And then there's conservative management. So you say, so what's that? We put you on drugs and you die, essentially. I was depressed for weeks. The nephrologist called me, and he's sort of a glass half full guy, and he said, listen, you can work through this. You might get a little better. We're going to do tests on you every month and so forth.
Kidney disease started in my family with my mother. I think I knew a little too much because when it was my time, I did have that fear of what she went through, and that's what I had to look forward to.
I was diagnosed with polycystic kidney disease, and I was quite young. I was in my 20s. The shocking thing came years later. Read a note from my nephrologist that said that I would be on dialysis within 5 years. And I was in my mid-40s, and I was not expecting to be on dialysis until my 60s.
I started my kidney journey when I was 11 years old. My first kidney lasted 21 years. And if this one lasts another 21 years, the new one, I'll be quite old, which I'll be very happy about.
The last time I had to go back on dialysis would have been my 3rd time. You already know what to expect, but you already know what you have to give up. So it's harder. They were very supportive in helping me go back on dialysis. That's good, sorry. I'm still friends with them today, after all these years. But it made the difference, because I was very scared.
My disease progressed, and I was on the verge of having to go on dialysis. I wasn't really assigned a nephrologist. A nephrologist was assigned my file. So every time I asked, who is my nephrologist, I would get this name without a face. I understand the system has a lot of strains on it. It is very hard when you're on life-sustaining treatment not to have a relationship with one physician.
My nurse practitioner was fabulous. She was the person that I could be in contact with anytime. She was open to any questions. She gave me a ton of education.
One of the senior renal nurses said, so what do you do with your time? I say, well, I'm trying to relearn how to play piano. She says, oh, great, you should do a recital at Christmas carols and all this. And I said, well, was there anybody who wants to participate? She says, feel free to ask. I found one nurse who said, well, I used to play piano when I was 12. I'd like to learn again. So I was teaching her piano on the days that her schedule and my schedule intersected, because there's a piano up in the atrium. It was a very gratifying experience. Everybody enjoyed it. We played 5 sets on the 22nd and 23rd of December in the clinic.
So having a point person who you can contact anytime, it's really important. I wish post-transplant that I still had that point person, which I don't anymore. It's a team. I don't know who to contact.
Don't prejudge your patients. Not all of us suffer from deteriorating health. I personally, on the days that I'm in dialysis, walk 5 kilometers to the clinic and I walk 5 kilometers back home after.
The posters around the renal clinic and around dialysis and around transplant, it's all about playing with your grandkids. I had kids. I still don't have grandkids. Should I not have this? This is an old person's thing?
Anyone that enters my space when I am either lying on a bed on dialysis or sitting in a chair on dialysis impacts me. This is the little tiny space that I have in the world at the moment. And it's precious to me because it's keeping me alive. And I feel extremely vulnerable. If they could just acknowledge walking into my space and saying hello.
Some of those patients have hope and some of those patients don't, right? Because I had hope about transplant and that's all that was on my mind. And then there's other people that can't. So they don't have hope. Sorry, it just made me feel upset. Sorry.
They have to understand how vulnerable we are. Your responsibility is to take care of my life and respect it.
We live in hope. We hope that doctors and nurses treat us as people first and patients second at all times. We hope that our situation doesn't impact our loved ones, our wives and husbands and sons and daughters. They sit in the chair right beside us at every treatment, physically or not. They're there with us emotionally. Right beside me is a partner at home wondering how I'm doing.
This is something that we really don't want to be doing, that we didn't sign up for. We wish we didn't have to do. It's life-saving and that you're so important to the experience. So to get to know you and to share with you who we are is going to be so important to the experience for both of us.